Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I hope you're having a great day. This is Jonathan Pulcinelli, your host for Soccerspective's Fanzone podcast series. Woohoo! Let's go! So hope you're all keeping good, people. This week started off with a cracking game of soccer, which was in Italy. So it was Lazio v Inter Milan, and Inter Milan marched the whole way to Rome, grabbed the 3 points. Not only did they get the win, they bet Lazio in the home ground 6-0. And what's impressive about that, they had 6 different goal scorers in that game. So that was Monday, and that is after setting the tone for this week, because we are in for we already are having, but we are in for one of the best weeks of 2024 in soccer. From results to date, from upcoming games to finals, incredible. This is why we love this game. It's the beautiful game. And let's go. This is why I love doing what I do. So thank you, by the way, for tuning in. For those of you who like to tune in to the podcast, I appreciate you tuning in. I hope you enjoy what we talk about. As I always say, I talk, but your voice matters. So do engage. Follow our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube community. Follow our other podcasts with Tactical Genius, Brandon Faust, Touchline Talk. So let's go, people. We want to end this year cracking with an absolute goal fest, penalties, games, wins, draws, all about soccer. As always, let's get cracking, let's get started. So this is podcast number 11, by the way. So our news today, people, is our first news of the day is Man City. We've mentioned Man City quite a few times. Well, we need to keep mentioning them because Man City are on decline, people. Pep Guardiola has lost. I'm not sure if he's lost the hunger or if the players have lost the hunger, but they have lost 7 games out of the last 10, drawn 2, won only 1 game. So the last loss was actually even last week in the Champions League, 2-0 to Juventus. It was a great performance by the Juventus, by the way. I actually predicted a draw for you people who seen it last week, but yeah, it was a 2-0 win. Fantastic result. So with that said, and we are staying in Manchester. So Manchester United, this is a make or break calendar month for Manchester United. So they started good with Ruben Almiron, had a few setbacks. I do believe they are going to now finish off the year strong, as they have the last 7 fixtures of 2024, people include, or actually, and I have one on 2025. The Manchester City, Manchester Derby, which Manchester United won 1-2 at the Etihad Stadium. So at the Etihad Stadium. So that was a good result for Manchester United. The next 6 games are Tottenham, Bournemouth, Wolves, Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal. Wow. Some firecrackers there, and some way to end the year and to start 2025. So for you United fans, I think this could be the deciding 7 games of your season for the Premier League, for sure. I do think you need to, out of these 7 games, 5 need to be a win. If you want to be a contender, really start pushing back up that table, yeah, you need to win 5. You need to beat Liverpool and Arsenal to make a statement. I'm sure, why not Tottenham? But a draw with half of these, so yeah, 7 points, 7 games. So yeah, out of 18 points available in these, you do need to make, I think, 14 or 15. Anything less is not Manchester United standards. So that's our second news. But we're going to the third news of the day, and we are going to London. This is an incredible, as half Irish. There's a club called Shamrock Rovers from Tala, Dublin, who are doing incredible this season. They are representing Ireland fantastic. And they are playing tomorrow, I believe, tomorrow against Chelsea. Cracking game. And why this is the news of the day for this podcast, as London is on alert, as just 16 kilometers away, Manchester United on the same day, same time, will be playing Tottenham. 16 kilometers divided into 2 teams. There will be 6,000 Manchester United supporters. Also, there is that's why the Met Police, London Metropolitan Police, are on high alert, as they have received news that some Leyton Orient fans mixed with Millwall fans are trying to gain access to Stamford Bridge for the game v Shamrock Rovers. So these are hooligans, which just with this topic, by the way, I will do a series as we are touching base on this, and it will be published Thursday tomorrow. So Thursday the 19th, our first mini series, and it will be a bit of a history of the Hooligans and the evolution of the fans in the UK and who were the Hooligans, okay? Because they are after popping up in today's news, and I was looking for a topic, and I'm gonna go with this, and it's a very interesting topic. Fans are about football, but not all fans are good for the team. This is news coming out of London. There was 3,000 tickets sold for the Hoops, the Shamrock Rover fans, and police are worried that either even the Shamrock Rover fans or the Chelsea fans will be selling off the tickets. Yeah, police have also warned for any Chelsea fans selling home tickets, they could get a 12-month ban. Okay, and yeah, this can go across also European football. So there is actually, I did not expect this news, but I've been reading into it today, and it's really interesting. So London is on alert, people. There will be a lot of fans, 6,000 United fans, 3,000 Irish fans, Manchester United, Tottenham, Chelsea, all within 15 kilometers of each other. And if you know London, it's so interlinked with the tube, the buses, everything. So there is, the police have a big job on their hand for this day, because them fans will clash. Also, Manchester United fans going back up to north a bit, northwest. You know, they will more than likely meet either some fans, you know, getting the tube going around London or that. So it will be interesting to watch, and that's why Hooligans are back in action. It looks like in the UK. Let's go with our next news, and we are staying in Manchester, and this is Marcus Rashford. One can say possibly a legend already for his young age at Manchester. Marcus Rashford has been there since he's 7 years of age. He signed his first contract. He is now 27, so he's been at the club for 20 years. And as we know, his performances have not been the best, but that can happen to any player. And the last game against Manchester City, the derby, he was not in the squad, and I think this has been the decider in his mind, as he's after coming out and saying that he's looking maybe for a new experience or that. So that for me is a big loss for Manchester United. He is a top quality player, a great person outside the pitch, what he has done for the kids of Manchester with the meal, the meal thing he had going on. So he would get funds to make sure that all kids in schools in Manchester in the UK will be supplied with meals, not just whoever has balance out with wealth or that. So he's a great player, great professional off the pitch. So this is going to be hard for Manchester United if they lose them. I think they might regret it, just like I think they are with Scott McTominay with Napoli, who is probably one of the most informed players. With that said, there is big names, of course, like PSG and Barcelona, who will snap him up as soon as they could. That's news of the day done, people. Let's move on to some interesting results of the last few days and last weekend. So Everton drew 2-2 at Arsenal. Liverpool had a 2-2 draw at home against Fulham. Newcastle beat Leicester City 4-0. Real Vallecano in La Liga had a 3-3 draw with Real Madrid. By the way, most results were draws last weekend. Incredible. Next, we are going to our co-host for the Touchline Talk, his team. I have my eyes on Leeds, Brandon, so don't worry, I'm not letting it slip, and I do hope that you guys get promotion, okay? I hope that Leeds get promotion. So Preston North End, Leeds 1-1 draw. People, incredible. They were all draws. That's why I left a lot of results out. Going to Germany, Augsburg lost to Bayern Leverkusen at home 0-2. Staying in Germany, the result possibly, maybe the second actually. No, the result of this podcast for me is Mainz 05 from Germany, Bundesliga, beating Bayern Munich 2-1. That is incredible result. And Harry Kane's latest injury, and then Manuel Neuer's injury, I think, is starting to show up there. Then we are going to the Serie A with my La Vecchia Signora, my team, Juventus, who again, week in and week out, are drawn every game. They are after drawn 2-2 against Venezia. They have not lost a game in the Serie A, but I believe they have drawn like 7 games or 6. Not good enough, absolutely not good enough, and they need to start making better. we are going to Ligue 1 in France, and the game there, Marseille-Lille, 1-1 draw. I'm not making this up. Go back and check. They have been all draws. So then I mentioned, let's go back to the Premier League. So Manchester United by Manchester City 2-1. Southampton v Tottenham. The highest scoring result there was Tottenham bet Southampton in Southampton 5-0-5. So that's a good result for Tottenham, pushing them up the table and getting the goal difference up. Then the shock of the result in the Serie A is Como, which is a brand new club, the richest in Italy, I believe, and managed by Cesc Fabregas. Those of you who know, Arsenal and Barcelona legend. They bet Roma 2-0. Roma are not doing good this season, people. Then going back to France, PSG, the game there of the week was PSG the weekend. PSG v Lyon, and PSG bet Lyon 3-1, which does not shock me, actually, when you compare the two teams' squad and recent performances. By the way, I'm not touching on stats. I'm just saying the results because I do want to touch on it on my next podcast. Maybe go more in depth of where the teams are at and where the leagues are, because we are halfway in most European season. We are halfway there. So it will be nice to get a view of where all the teams are, the major teams, top performing teams of the season so far. And yeah, so I will touch base on that on the next podcast. So the last result of this podcast, we will go with what I started the podcast with, and it was Monday Night Football in Serie A with Lazio losing 6-0 at home to Milan. So good result for Milan. Not me as a Juventus fan, but where praise is due. So well done to Inter. Today, most fixtures I'm talking about now coming up are mostly from today. There's the English Football League quarterfinals, the Football Cup. So we had Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Liverpool, Newcastle, Brentford, and yeah, so that was in the UK. Then in Spain we had Espanyol, Valencia. In the League 1, Monaco, PSG. And in the Serie A, people, we had Atalanta, Cesena, and another 7-goal thriller in the Serie A in Italy. Serie A in Italy, the talent has grown. It was always known for best defense, but this season has shown that it has progressed, it has developed younger players, talent, more risky, not just focused on defense. I think I will touch on this. Actually, I wouldn't mind if my colleague and co-host of the series Touchline Base will maybe go into the evolution of Serie A and why there are so many goals. When you look back in the years, they are free-flowing. That it's more attacking than defending. So very interesting. And I think this could be a topic for Brandon. If not, I could also touch on it. And also other games for this midweek. I'm not touching on the weekend because there's so many midweek games. This is why we love December. But Arsenal women team are playing Bayern Munich women's team. And also Barcelona's women team are playing Barcelona, Manchester City. And Barcelona were winning 1-0. They are cracking games for a Wednesday, people. A Wednesday. And we have all these games. You got to love this part. You got to love soccer. You got to love the beautiful game. Before I move on, actually, so yeah, also the game today, what was our game of the day in the social media, by the way, as I mentioned in social media. If you have not done so, if you enjoy my presenting, if you enjoy what we do for Soccerspective, what we talk about, we try to talk all soccer matter. We go in depth with tactics. We just hear the voice of the fans. We check the videos, tactics, check our catalog of over 300 videos on YouTube, our daily posts on Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube community. Please do get engaged, comment. As you've seen, if you follow this podcast, this is the Soccerspective Fanzone podcast series. We announce a fan of the week every week. Soon you will win a freebie. So just engage, comment, and we just pick out a fan every week. Maybe we'll pick more out coming up. But yeah, if you do so, just a like to this video, a subscribe to the YouTube channel, a follow to our Instagram, Facebook, and this helps us communicate. It helps your voice grow, and it just helps us enjoy this beautiful game more. And it helps the channel Soccerspective, because this is, for me, possibly one of the best soccer channels out there. And that's why I am grabbing this opportunity to be a presenter for this beautiful project with my passion. If you can notice, I am so passionate about this. and I am I just appreciate this opportunity, and I'm doing my best. I will keep doing my best like a game. I used to be captain for my university. I do not stop. I will keep going. We will take losses, but we will learn from losses. So like, subscribe, and we will grow together, people. Maybe we will create a Soccerspective team. Who knows? Let's go Soccerspective. Woohoo! Okay, so with that said, let's go to my favorite part of the podcast, by the way. When it gets to the last two things I usually do on this podcast, so like the question of the week, and I will leave the last part, which is my most favorite. So last week's question of the week that we posed to you fans, and no one answered again, so please get answering, because soon you will have a hat, a jersey, or something, okay? Not a season ticket, as I mentioned, because they can be quite expensive, as we talked about an Arsenal season ticket or somewhere else. But last week's question of the week was which soccer team sells the most jerseys? And unsurprisingly, it's quite easy. There's two teams actually that are very close, but the answer was Barcelona. So Barcelona is the team that sells the most jersey. So in revenue, they make 107 last year. So 2023 figures stats. They made 179 million euros. Okay, so you can convert that in dollars, Canadian dollars. You're talking over 200 million, and US dollars 190 or something. But that's what they made just on jersey sale. And the top jerseys were like Fabregas, Lamine Yamal, and yeah, these important players. Also, Rafinha actually sold quite a few. Interestingly, as we are touching with the women's soccer, so the Barcelona Femini, which is how they call the ladies team, they also contribute quite a lot to that. The figure I will have to pop up again, but and this is thanks to players like Alexia Putellas and Anita Bumati. So we are starting to see a shift in not just the male players selling jerseys, but also the women's players selling the jerseys. And I think that one of the biggest debates in recent years has been how men's soccer earns so much while women's soccer, like there's a saying like in the last few weeks that Douglas Luiz, a Juventus player, and his partner Alicia Lehmann, as if you don't know, probably the most famous women's soccer player out there. So she said that her husband makes 100,000 times more than herself. She just moved to Juventus. Also, two of them are Juventus players. She moved from Aston Villa. I think both of them moved from Aston Villa. And she said that, but if we keep seeing this trend of jerseys selling, more people tuning into the games, more attendance at stadium, it's going to start leveling out sooner or later. But in fairness, because soccer, it is still a business, it does need to start going like that. As of now, of course, men's soccer is more viewed, more jerseys, whatever, but the growth of women's soccer globally is unprecedented, and I say this today, we are not far from a few years until that gap is really closing, really, from attendances to popularity of the teams to the World Cup women's team, like bringing in millions of spectators every time more. And as we've seen this by this stat, which I also got informed, which I thought it was great, yes, it's starting to put a lot of the percentage of sales of jerseys is the woman. There you go. That was last week's. This week's question of the week, Soccerspective fans, is which was the first televised soccer game? The first ever televised soccer game globally. There you go. Answer this question, and you have a chance of being the next fan of the week for next week, or you have a chance to win a freebie, whatever. Get out there, answer. It's interesting. I think you also, if you love soccer, there's nothing better than I try formulate these questions of the week to get you in, not just entertained, for me to educate, for you people to be educated, and I find it so interesting. It really does. Like, oh wow! For example, when we had the biggest stadium with people that can go in, it was in Pyongyang, North Korea, which I found it incredible. I was not aware of that. The season ticket holders, the most, which was actually Barcelona, and Barcelona sell the most jerseys, so it goes hand to hand. It's amazing. Learning about the game is beautiful. Not just the soccer, the on the pitch stuff. I think it's so interesting, the outside stuff. So I want to get onto also the stadiums, as I mentioned, how much capacity, not just the biggest, the top 10 in Europe, North America, Asia. How much is the price for a hot dog or a drink or something? All these aspects I find really interesting. But that's the question of the week. Which soccer game was the first televised? With that said, Soccerspective fans, soccer fans all over, you people are watching this, we have reached my favorite part of the show, of the podcast, of the series of Soccerspective's Fanzone. As the series name title says, Fanzone, my favorite part of the show is, I think you've guessed it right, it's the fans. So the Soccerspective fans, you fans who engage, you fans who are commenting, new subscribers, new followers. I love it. I do this for mainly you people. I do this for you fans because as I am the number one fan for me in my head of soccer, and I would like to think anyone who loves this beautiful game to also be a soccer fan and think they are the best fan. So if you are the best fan, you need to engage, you need to do something with it, and that's what I am doing, being the host of this series, because I love it and I'm growing, I'm learning. And yes, that said, last week, by the way, because I always like to just mention last week's fans, I won't go into depth because you have to check our previous podcast, was Florence Nightingale, who had a very interesting view on some tactics and stuff. This week, our Soccerspective fan of the week commented on a video on our Facebook post, which was about challenges of implementing a new system mid-season in fast-paced games, okay? So, this video here. So, if you check the video, you will see some answers. Quite a few people answered, actually, but I took this comment out because I found it interesting. Our fan of the week replied, right man for the job, big booster fail in, but just give him a chance that he fully deserves. At the end of the day, he's a Mourinho product. I totally believe with what you said of giving the manager time, because as we've seen, the issue, I do believe, is not just the manager of Manchester United. The players need to take responsibility. The whole board, the directors, everyone needs to play their part at Manchester. And recent seasons and results, we have seen this. But one thing I do not agree with, big boost to Phil, because Eric Ten Hag's, as much as I give him respect and everything, his boots were not that big to fill. He did okay. The only one who I do believe had the biggest boost to fill is my friend and my probably most important soccer, well, let's say Manchester professional I've ever had the pleasure to meet was David Moyes, who succeeded Alex Ferguson. Now, we can say with David Moyes, he definitely had big boost to fill. But every manager after, they have had to just, yes, the Sir Alex Ferguson aura is always there above. That's why at the end of the season, I believe the new, Ratcliffe doesn't really want him as ambassador thing, because it's always his presence there. Might be a bit much for some people at the club and managers or that, but I do believe he should stay, because what he has done for the club, it's no manager in the world has maybe done it for any other clubs. Yeah, so in that aspect, I do not believe. I think a manager should not even think about filling any boots at the moment at Manchester. It's just about getting there, doing your job. Don't think about anything. The club is massive. Do your job. Get the pitch working. Get the players taken. Control the players. Let them know, the players, that they need to work and sweat. And yes, so with that aspect, but the rest, I do believe that he does deserve time. And for sure, as a Mourinho product, Mourinho is also a Portuguese, like Ruben Almiron. I do agree with that with you. So, thanks to your comment, you have now become Soccerspective's Fanzone for the week. For episode 11 of Soccerspective Fanzone is 3, 2, 1. Navin Kamto. Woohoo! Let's go! Well done, Navin. I hope I got your name right. If I don't, apologies. I'm having so many different names from different nationalities, but Navin Kamto. This is the comment. Well done on being Soccerspective's Fanzone. Say episode 11, fan of the week. Well deserved. Well done for your engagement. You are a true Soccerspective fan. You love the beautiful game, and we appreciate your engagement, your comment. This is how we get engagement going. This is how we get feedback. This is how we discuss as fans tactics in that. So with that said, I will end the podcast now, as always, with our fan of the week for Soccerspective's Fanzone episode 11 podcast. If you have not done so, please like, subscribe, comment, let us know what topics you want to hear. And the week we have a lot on action, so there will be another podcast this week, Thursday the 19th, which is tomorrow. Check this podcast series out because we have our first mini series. Okay, as I touched already, as the title of this podcast today, Hooligans seem to be back in London, back in the UK. Who are the Hooligans? Let's find out and let's check it out. As always, Jonathan Pulcinelli, your Soccerspective fan zone host. I love and leave you, people. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and we will see each other tomorrow. Let's love the beautiful game. Actually, 3, 2, 1. Forza Soccerspective. Woohoo! Let's go.